Hey gang, T here. Happy Monday morning or whatever time you're actually watching this. It's time for T's Monday morning minutes. I know I haven't done it in a little bit. I didn't want to be forcing it to come up in my head. I didn't want to be forcing topics or anything. I just kind of wanted to do it as they came to me. And this one's been on my mind for a few days and it really just keeps showing up, and so I think I need to share it. And it's on communication. Communication is so important because it's important in every relationship. Your family members, your partners, your coworkers. It's important to have good communication because lack of communication can cause a lot of unnecessary problems. And I'm sure we have all seen those examples. Now, part of communication that I think maybe might be part of the problem for some people is that does include expressing your feelings, and that's not something I feel like our culture really teaches us to do very well, is talk about our feelings and tell each other our feelings. You know, we keep them bottled up and then we're upset for a long time and our significant other has no idea why. It does make you a little more vulnerable, and it requires some openness. So all in all, it takes courage to communicate well. It might be a little uncomfortable at first. I used to think I was a pretty good communicator, and come to find out I am a terrible communicator. Terrible communicator because I don't like being vulnerable. I don't like being open. I don't like telling people how I feel if it's anything negative. So the communication was hard for me. I didn't even realize it till just the last couple weeks. I've been in some certain situations. Rather than, if you're not open, vulnerable, communicating with those around you because you're fearful of what? I mean, what's the worst that could happen? What's the worst they cannot agree with you? Well, not everyone's going to agree with you. I'm sorry to tell you. Not everyone's going to agree with me. I would rather regret trying something, putting something out there, and it kind of flopping, than to have this always in my head regret of, I wish I would have said this, what if I'd have said that, what if I'd have done this, what if I'd done that. And recently I've done a couple things that, yes, was very vulnerable moments for me, and I was very open in times when I normally wouldn't be. I'd be hiding my face and not expressing my feelings. And I have done a few of those things here in the last few weeks, and I have found the more you do it, the easier it gets. Being brave is not being fearful. I was scared to death to do some of these things, right? But being brave does not mean you're not scared. It means you do something even though you are scared. You have a lot of what ifs, and wondering how they're feeling, and you're trying to anticipate. Communicate. We're starting to getting into, you're assuming certain things, and we all know that to assume makes an ass out of you and me. So we need to get rid of that and just open up the conversation. There is a peace that comes even when you get out there and you put it out there, you communicate your feelings, you're a little bit vulnerable, a little bit open, and it doesn't go the way you want it to. Because it won't always go the way you want it to. But there is still a peace in knowing the truth. No longer is every scenario turning around in your head, and the what ifs, and every scenario, and every possible outcome, and all the reasons why you shouldn't do it. Those disappear, and they're gone. And no matter what, even if it's not necessarily the outcome you were looking for, there's still peace in that. There's you feel heard, you feel understood. There's an understanding between two people or a group of people or whatever. Another thing, when it comes to your significant others, don't ever let them doubt how you feel. Ever. I truly believe that, and I haven't been so good at that because I've been, scared of the outcome. And finally, it took one of my therapists to look at me and say, okay, what's the worst that could happen if you said this, or if you threw this out there? What's the worst that could happen? And it made me stutter. Like, I don't know, I'd feel weird, I'd feel awkward. Get over it. Get over it. I know it sounds so simplistic, and I still struggle with it at times. I have not perfected this by any stretch. But the more I do it and the more I see it, the more I don't care. Like, I am not necessarily being vulnerable and open for you or for anyone else. I'm doing it for me, my peace of mind, my mental chatter, to shut it up. I don't want to live with regrets, and I don't want to live with what ifs. So I'm just going to put it out there. I'm going to put out my creative works that I do. I am going to say the things that I, hold in my head, like, oh, I wish I had the guts to say this. Think right now. What is one thing? Here's your assignment. Assignment time. Okay? I want you to think of one thing that you are letting fear stop you from saying, doing, feeling, whatever. I want you to step out and communicate and do something that you have been holding back because of fear. Because I promise you, later you'll regret not saying something. I have plenty of times, because I used to be a really bad communicator, and I'm still working on it. There are times where you look back and go, oh my gosh, things could have been so different if I would have just said this, or if I just would have done that. But I was so closed off. I didn't let people know how I felt. People had no idea how I felt. And I liked it that way, because then I thought I wasn't going to get hurt. Well, I also didn't ever get what I wanted either, because A, I didn't communicate what I wanted, and B, I was so scared of the outcome of me opening my mouth. How am I ever going to get what I want that way? I didn't. And the more you practice this, the easier and easier it gets. There's many ways we can communicate. Let's go over that real quick. You can tell somebody, obviously face to face. You can call them. You can text them. You can write it in a letter. You can email. You can do a video. Hello. You can do a video to get it out. I just wrote a parody to a song that kind of expressed how I felt about something, and I got a lot of enjoyment out of it. I don't know if I'm going to share it. I know I'm going to share it. I'm just not sure when yet, but it's kind of a timing thing. But I have every intention of sharing it. But it was so much fun. Draw how you feel, and send it to that person. There's lots of ways to communicate, but I want you to find one thing this week that you could better communicate, that would make all the chatter in your head and the what ifs and what you will regret 5 months, 5 years down the road, that will just kind of make things calm down in your head. Quick, if there's something bothering you, communicate it quickly. Don't wait until you are so mad at them that the way you communicate it to them is you're yelling at them, or you're being rude or mean or whatever. Do it quickly. Do it before you are so upset. Don't let it fester. Take care of it right away. Any relationship, any kind of, that goes with at work, that goes at home, significant others and friends, the less of miscommunication you have, the less tension there is in that relationship. And that tension might all be on your side, and they may not have a clue that you have it, but let's just get rid of the tension and have good, healthy relationships where everyone knows where everyone stands, everyone's head's in the game. All right, that's the end of my T's Morning Minute. So I hope you have a great rest of the week. If you are not listening to this on Monday, that's fine. You'll have 7 days rather than a week. You know, whatever. I'm not picky. You can adjust this to you and your situation and whenever you do watch. Please share. I think, you know, I've done all these things that I've asked you guys to do right along with you if you're doing them too. And it really, truly, I've learned a lot and it's been life-changing in a good way. So, not to sound corny, but it's just my truth that I'm opening up to you so there's better communication. Okay? Everyone have a great week. Bye.